Yeah. I just want to say I'm not actually a hard stuck champ. How many points are you at, Andrew?
I'm like top
I'm
30
like,
right now.
Gabe,
Are you?
damn.
That's pretty.
Yeah, you really.
Did you just say I'm not?
Damn.
Dude, that is toxic. That is. You kicked him out.
Anyways. All right. So we're done here. All right.
Last podcast that I ran, I got this extra mic
What the
because
heck is
I was
that?
watching. No. So I was watching a lot of the other podcasts that people have, right?
Yeah.
And one of the most common things that people do is like when they're like thinking about something that's really like thought provoking, right? They move their mic around, right? So I got this like special Audio Technica mic, right? That I've always wanted to set up on my desk. Unfortunately, it's not plugged in. But whenever I think of something very thought provoking, I'm gonna move it around and pretend like I'm thinking. So this is going to be like my fidget cube for this podcast. I was gonna do it for my own podcast, but I completely forgot about it. So I'm gonna do it
I
for
have
yours.
expected to see an extra watch on your hand, to be honest.
Oh, 2 watches? I got you.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, someone told me to ask you how much your sweater was. Apparently.
No, we don't talk about those things.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Sometimes, look, all right, when you work in finance and all your calls are on Zoom, sometimes you have to spend a little extra money for some nicer clothes.
Ah, makes sense.
What about those books? I know you're not reading any of them.
Oh, dude, no, they're fucking magazines I took from a supermarket. I don't even know what they are.
Nice.
One watch for each finger? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we have a flower vase up there as well, it just makes it look like I'm a little more smart than I really am.
Dude, it looks like you're in an office. Dude, I like that. I like that.
I mean, it does.
Yeah,
it's all about the appearance.
See, it's one of those things where like it looks very nice from the camera up, but then you look from the camera down, and I have like an air mattress that like all my drunk friends sleeps when they stay over. There's some like clothes on the ground. It's not vacuumed, so we're struggling out here, but it's fine.
I have a question. What hand is your watch on? Your left hand?
Yeah. Give us a virtual camera tour? Yeah, that's not it, Chief.
Okay. I'm ready to copy Kenny. Gotta look smart. I mean, I had to. Oh yeah, how much your cap is?
Alright, let's not talk about the monetary value, alright? When I die, this hat is worthless. So
dude, what do you mean?
Value.
Dude, famous streamer. Oh wait. Did I have your name as Kenny in the past podcast, or was it Electric?
Probably Kenny. Let me just keep it.
Okay. Man, you need to rebrand your Twitch name to Kenny14 or something. Not just dude.
When I was 12 years old, okay, there was this man in my CS 1.6 lobby named Electric, and I wanted to be just like him. So I took his name.
You know,
and I haven't changed the sense.
So
every time what the history behind my name is, it's because there was a really good Counter-Strike 1.6 player, and I literally wanted to be like the guy.
Every time I have you in a podcast, and I go to upload to YouTube and be like, thank you to our guest, and I type twitch.tv/their name, I go E11, and then I have to go look up your Twitch channel again. And every time I struggle looking up your Twitch channel also.
Yeah, no, it's something that I have to think about changing at one point in my life. But for now, it is what it is.
Oh, someone linked me a Balenciaga cap in black and white.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Oh, I see.
No, you don't see. All right.
Oh, that's pretty cheap though. Yeah, no.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, part of my Chinese nature, everything that I have is clearly fake. So.
Exactly. It's all made in China, right? Anything,
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry. Andrew, can you say something real quick?
Hello.
Will?
What's up?
And then Kenny again.
Mic check.
Okay. All right. I think we're Gucci. Okay, so let me once again look up what podcast number this is, because I always end up freaking forgetting. I think this is 20 actually. Holy shit, 20. Wow. I'm actually keeping up with my podcast. Probably would have been at 50 if I actually kept up with them, but
damn.
All right. Oh my gosh, my watch doesn't. My watch doesn't fit me anymore. Got skinnier.
That's good. That's good. I mean, most
Yeah,
people did the other way during quarantine,
can't play
right?
this game over here.
Is that light in Gabe's room? Yes, I actually turned on my light for this. This is the rare time you guys will see me turn on. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to podcast number 20. Today I have with me two new people, BestKapkan, Lunel,
Yep, what's up?
or Luna, and Kenny. So I'll let them introduce themselves in that order. You guys can get to know him. Aside from that, yeah, let's get started here. So take us off, Will.
Okay. Hey, my name is BestKapkanNA. You know, you can call me William. It doesn't matter. Same thing. I stream Epic 7. Kind of suck at the game. So, yeah, you know, just here we can talk about the new updates, stuff like that.
If you suck, dang, that's a blow to me.
No. You don't understand. My mental is so weak. It's insane, dude. My mental goes boom too easily.
All right, Luna.
Hello, my name is Lunel, or people call me Andrew. I was a former rank 1 Queever, but now Queeve sucks, and I'm Heartstuck champion.
Welcome to the crew. I like. All right, yeah. And Kenny.
What's up, guys? My name is Kenny. You guys might know me as E11ECTRIK on Twitch. Obviously, I have to spell it out because it's pretty hard to follow. I am a pretty consistent top tier legend player, and yeah, I stream on the side as well. So pretty good.
Pro player.
Thank you all. Pro E11. How was it again?
All right.
E11CTR.
I mean, if FaZe ever starts a esports team, hey, I'm available.
Okay. Wait. Let's talk about this. Yeah, FaZe. No, dude, make your own team. Yeah, the electric gaming team.
Please stop. Let's stop there. I'm rebranding.
All right, let's get started. Let's start with something that's just kind of like whatever. I also posted all the screenshots in there if you guys, you know, who cares about Lucy? But I mean, aside from the fact of some people liking her looks, what are your thoughts about her? What do you feel like about this free 3-star unit we'll be getting? I don't know if you guys even looked at her yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did not look at her yet.
Yeah,
I
me
checked
neither.
her out.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like a free-to-play Cerise, but
Yeah.
like worse. With 100 base speed, right? It doesn't seem very good, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Like,
Is there S2 85% at max?
I'm pretty sure.
So that's like one of those things where it's like
It's not. It's 100.
it's 100.
It's 100?
With
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
guess that's not too bad. It's like one of those things where you have to ask yourself whether or not you want to take a unit like that for the specific debuffs, right? I think there's other units in the game that already provide decreased speed, and sometimes bringing on a restrict is also like anti-synergy for some of the other units that you might run on your team, right? So I think for most people in a spot where you know you want to fit certain units in your draft, and Soul Weaver's already in a less than ideal spot in the current meta, I feel like she's not the best, but she's definitely cool to have. Maybe it's one of those things where you might catch someone off guard because they don't exactly know what the character does. But I think for the most part, I think for a lot of people, it's just going to be a hard pass. So at least for me, I mean, I as a free to play player, right, who can barely afford nice things, I got to save my resources. So it's going to be a hard skip for me.
yeah.
Hard skip. What do you mean hard skip? You can't.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
mean,
skip-
as
you
in
can't
hard-
skip her.
hard
Yeah,
to build.
Oh,
Yeah,
to build. Okay.
No, to skip. No. I don't know about you guys, but I found this like new strategy, and you know, don't get me banned here. But you can choose what units you want to summon. Like on the last limited banner, like just came out, I specifically asked for guiding lights, and I got 3 guiding lights. So I'm pretty sure I can just choose to skip this Lucy unit and just keep her out of my book.
Smart.
I should
You mind
remove you from
sharing
this
that?
call.
You mind sharing that with me?
What the?
I'd like some guiding lights too. I'm just saying, dude.
That'd be pretty nice.
What? Okay, talk about lucky.
Dude.
To be honest, yeah, like I looked at the unit briefly. Like, I don't know if you'll ever, like, not to mention the fact that Cerise literally just got rerun. Like, where else are you gonna use Lucy? I guess is my question. Aside from people who you know, maybe they're new and they missed out on Cerise. They didn't have enough resources to pull for Cerise, right? Like, just doesn't really seem like something that I care about too much.
Yeah, and also the fact is she doesn't strip before she
Yeah,
she applies her debuffs too.
yeah. It's like
so.
it's a Cerise wannabe.
I
Essentially,
agree.
is what it is.
You can use it for your profile. It's pretty cute.
True. That's what everyone said. Yeah.
Yeah, I
but,
think like I think the main thing to consider when you're building up new units, right, is always like how well they can fit either in, you know, in most scenarios. And I think for the large majority of people that play this game, everything is always geared towards what eventually is going to be endgame PvP, right?
mhm.
And when you think about her specifically in that PvP context, whether that's for GVG, you know, Arena or RTA, it's one of those spots where she doesn't really do too much outside of her first turn because you
Mhm.
can't expect to wait another 2 turns to get her S2 off, right? Because you're going to be holding her S2 for the entire time if they have units like that provide immunity or something like that, right? So
Mhm.
it really isn't too valuable.
The other
In my
thing
opinion,
was
to have, like that restrict or decrease speed.
the fact that she's a Soul Weaver makes it a little strange. I found that a little strange. She doesn't like. Normally, I expect Soul Weavers to like heal or something. The only thing she does is decrease debuff durations by 1 turn, right? As far as I
Yeah.
know. So that's
Maybe, yeah, maybe it's a unit that'll get specialty change down the road to have a
Oh,
heal. But it could be a good trend for where Soul Weavers are, right? I think traditionally we always think about Soul Weavers as units that heal,
yeah.
but then we can maybe transition that thought from healing to maybe like a unit that provides a lot of support, right? And then that'll like, you know,
DM was kind of like that too.
oh yeah, DN's pretty similar because she needed an artifact to heal, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Anyways, I just wanted to bring it up. Yeah, some people, you know, some people might actually seriously be looking into it as a new player. So, in case you guys watch this, yeah,
Don't build her.
right now, recommendation at this current point in time, 2021, February 17th, is probably don't build her. Yeah, future words, onwards down the road, I don't know. We'll see. All right, quick topic. Let's move on to something better. Desginer Lilibet. All right, let me know your thoughts. Aside from the fact that some people like armpits.
this unit S3 is fucking top tier. She looks so nice. I think it's a
Yeah.
good trend for like I think a lot of people that play this game originally started because the art in the game is really, really nice and you know, very flushed out, right? And like nice to look at.
Mhm.
I think the trend right now where all these new units that get introduced have cooler and cooler S3s is a
Mhm.
pretty nice trend. She looks really, really solid. Just
Mhm.
on the art alone, not even talking about her skills and things like that, which we
Mhm.
can talk to in a little bit. I think in terms of like a unit as well, I think this is a good trend for how units are designed, where she fills a really, really strong niche that does really, really well. I think some people might say this is just a strict fighter Maya power creep, but I think she fills a nice slot as like a good ML5 that hasn't been touched before recently, and it's
Mhm.
like a nice spot where you know she's not overtuned particularly, but she does you know what she is intended to do pretty well. I think.
Mhm. I think personally, I think this is one of the best units that Smilegate could have ever released for me. I really, really, really struggle against control comps like F10A stuff like that, and I
Mm.
think that this is legitimately perfect for me. Um, I also think that her art is beautiful, and I really like it. And since I play with Sound on a lot, I like her voice actor. Her voice actor is top notch. Um, there have been other characters whose voices make me want to swap languages, but I like English the most, like as the language. So yeah, I don't know. I really like her voice actor. That's it.
I didn't know you were in. Okay, yeah, I was slightly taking that. I thought that was gonna go through the wrong way, Will. But okay.
Oh
Um.
no, I'm a wholesome streamer.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
What do you feel like, Andrew?
I agree with Kenny how she's like a super good niche pick. It's not like a you can pick anywhere like ML Cow is, so that's good. I don't like units like that people like. I don't like Smilegate releasing units that are like that could just do it all. I'd rather them release niche units like Emma Lilibet is, so I think it's a good change. Personally, it doesn't affect me that much because defense scaling, I don't have any kind of gear like that, and I don't really struggle with control right now. I don't really play control either, so she doesn't affect me that much. And she didn't save Cleve, so I hate her actually.
I see. Wait, though. Okay. But what if we use her within our cleave now?
What are you gonna use? A defense scaling unit in your cleave? You're gonna A-Lots give her attack buff and she's gonna do nothing?
Dude, what do you mean? Yeah, dude, you boost with her, and dude, hell yeah. Dude, what if, it might
Boost
be a forced
Alencia
ban.
first, right? Boost Alencia first, and Alencia does her cleave, and you
If
get
I'm
defense
cleaving-
buff.
Oh, even better.
I don't know.
With that being said, so fair thoughts are, what are your thoughts on building her? Right? What builds are you planning to go on her?
She actually is like pretty diverse, right? She has like all right, she has well imprint, obviously. Crit chance imprint, I think, is just straight up like OP, and if you have the imprint for it, you're in such a great spot for like spreading her like stats around, right? Because that's literally like what 4 or 5 rolls worth of stats just in the imprint itself. That's fucking nuts. And I think like one thing to consider is that she has 8 Ravi base stats, right? So she's not only just a step up from Fighter Maya, she's got 5-star base stats to like do more damage. Plus, A Ravi herself is already very, very bulky and tanky. So if you build her very similar to A Ravi, she already does way more than enough damage, right? Even if you don't push past that like 2k defense threshold, which I think is like pretty insane already.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of those things where you look at a kit and for the people that don't have an answer to control, this is a unit that's like a non-Efrez like debuff cleave counter, right? But you don't really see too much. There's only like one in the game right now. That's like CZ, or I guess F Maya as well. But she straight up like gives herself 40% CR, and then she debuffs as well. So I think it's like a really nice way to gauge into those teams by just drafting her.
I think the difference though with that is Fighter Maya is selfish compared to her. Like Fighter Maya doesn't do anything for the team per se. Like she herself is just like, I will cleanse myself and I'm available to use, right? While for her, it's like, I'm available now to help the team out, right? I can help cleanse the team too, rather than just her being useful, which is really nice against, especially since Fairy Tail and like other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's just I think from what we saw in the video, it looked like she was doing some decent damage, especially with that defense. I think if I was to build her, I'd build her kind of like Politis, like 220, like utility Politis, a bit slower maybe, but with more bulky stats, so that she could cut and then get the turn reset probably, like the cooldown, yeah. Okay. Or maybe counter even. I don't know. It depends. We'll have to see the multipliers, I think.
I've heard some people talk about counter, and that's interesting because, like, her S1 is like to silence people. Like, if you counter, you silence someone. Like, oof, it might be a little, might be pretty good there.
Seems like it does fat damage too because it scales off defense. I think like a good way to like see where she fits, right, is I think one of the more popular picks right now in like higher legend RTA against these like counter like debuff teams, right? Or like these debuff like cleave kind of teams or control comps is a unit that really rose up is Desginer, right? I think a lot of players who have built up Desginer right now can like attest to how useful she is in terms of cleansing off your team.
Yeah.
Especially to guarantee yourself the first turn, right? I think a lot of other units like the ER Lilius, which is also really popular. I think Desginer fits in that same slot as well. And contrary to what some people used to pick as like Ruana, right? You don't always guarantee yourself the first turn. There's really high value in these like these team cleansing teams that allow you to get yourself that first turn, which is why it's so powerful. Yeah, Kitty and Ray as well. So I think this is just a very similar pick to one of those units, but also has an aggressive twist to it, right? I, for one, really like to play aggressive right now in the current meta. And I think that's why I'd probably build her up, specifically because she's like that Destina pick for me, while also doing more damage as well.
Okay, that's
another thing is a unit that's really, really good right now, 8 Tywin. I think she's actually quite a good 8 Tywin, just for the fact that he does 8 debuffs technically, so that gives her 40 fighting spirit, and that almost gives her S3 just right off the bat, right? And I struggle with his A Tywin a lot, especially if they pre-ban Ammo Crow or take Ammo Crow. Because I don't have Vivian built. And yeah, he just like slows down my tempo a lot. And so I guess she actually does help me quite a bit. Particularly when I play against A Tywin and I'm not cleaving.
Yeah, I agree too. I also struggle with A Tywin just like Luna if they ban or take ML Crow. So I think that's a very, very good unit that's coming out for me. I think something that's also interesting is that her S3 gives 50 fighting spirit on top of that. So she can actually cycle back into another like push if there's like follow-up control. You know, I think that's also very important and is pretty cool to see.
Actually, for both of you that are struggling with A Tywin here, I actually do have a free-to-play friendly. All right, so everyone take out your notepads here. I have a free-to-play, free-to-play friendly solution to fixing the A Tywin. All right, now let me tell you about my girl Lucy here. Now, if you build a 300 speed Lucy, right? Her S2 has 2 debuffs: restrict and decrease speed. All right, so the A Tywin's gonna cleanse the restrict, and then you decrease speed on the A Tywin, he can't move.
Doesn't he cleanse speed first? I thought he cleanses speed down from Cerise first normally.
Yeah, he always cleanses the speed down from Cerise.
But
yeah, he does.
Kenny's like, oh shit.
Wait, that's even better because then he has restrict.
Why is that better?
I mean, he has immunity though. You don't strip.
So let's say you accidentally give up the flurry, right? And then flurry pushes up. Yeah, then he can't push himself up.
Well, I have a better strategy. If you take the Cerise first, then you strip any buffs he has. You land the restrict, and then you run Lucy, and then you land both restrict and speed down now.
Oh, OP. Nice.
Okay. I mean,
200 IQ.
Yeah, instead of pulling for an ML5, which is going to cost you what, 200 Mystic Summons, that's pretty expensive. It's like a what, $500 pity. Hey, he's got Lucy. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
If you guys say fake legend player, if I can hit top 10 legend, that means all of you guys can hit top 10 legend as well.
True.
Right?
True.
Chad's just too lazy to do it.
Yeah, they're all legend players in their hearts.
Yeah.
Everybody's a legend player in their hearts.
Yeah.
Except for me, I'm fake.
Oh yeah. So about Desginer Lilibet wise, I'm curious though, right? Thoughts wise, like for us, obviously, all of us were endgame, more like pushing for endgame content. Do you see this having any use outside of that? Like, should new players pull for it? Should mid game players pull for it? What are your thoughts on that wise?
I would say anyone that plays RTA should really get her, because like I said, she's an A Tywin counter, and a lot of legend players are carried by A Tywin. Pre-ban A Tywin, they become clueless. I'm not gonna name any names, but yeah.
I think that as long as you, like Luna said, if you play RTA, even if you're mid game, like if you're struggling in Masters, Challenger, because I've seen a lot of people in that elo use things like Cerise, F10A, and then people have no answer to that. I think that this could be a very, very good unit for them. So I think that if you're playing RTA, you should probably pull for this unit. I don't think that if you're a PvE gamer, I don't think you should pull her, because I don't think she would do anything in PvE, right? But if you're playing RTA, I think she could be a pretty good pick.
I think it depends on where you come from, right? Would I say like every ML5 in the game is worth pulling for? Obviously not, right? Depends on like how willing you are to spend your resources. I think this is a really solid unit, and it's a good pick to have for a lot of those like niche spots where you do pick her, right, against the people that do draft control. Maybe she's a soft counter to ML Time, but she's not a hard counter, right? I think for the large majority of players that do play this game, that are like focused on collecting and things like that, or you are limited on different resources, I think you are like, if I was gonna say, if you're gonna pick between Designer Lilibet today or next month or FCC today, I'd much rather you go for the FCC and things like that. I think she's
yeah,
but she's not like you have to waste all your resources for, right?
Yeah.
She definitely has her new spots, and I think it's also like obviously like it's kind of a tangent here, but like it depends on where the ladder goes, right? So like maybe with tea time and everything else phasing out of the meta, you won't really have as many spots to pick a unit like this, right? Because you won't be facing against all these debuff cleaves anymore. Everyone's gonna go back to a more standard rule crowd draft instead, right? And then
I
that's
feel like we're seeing that already. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
definitely.
slowly seeing some shift there.
Yeah, actually, we could talk about that. I think later down the line.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a tangent right now,
Yeah,
but I feel
for
like
sure.
that's just something to consider when you like pull for all of these units,
Mhm.
right? You just really have to grasp what is being played on the ladder, because the RTA is not about what has the best kit most of the time. It's about what people are playing, and sometimes if people aren't playing control, there's no real need for a unit like this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair.
Um,
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like when you get caught, like sometimes there's like Kenny was saying, there's a meta shift sometimes, you know, and then if you get like you can have units that might count, because if it goes back to Rel Crow, right, and people start building against this Rel Crow, it might even go back to the control thing, because everybody's like, hey, nobody's going control, you know, it like shifts back and forth, and I think that adapting to it is what's most important, which is why I think like obviously FCC is a better pull, but if you have the resources, I would also go for ML Lilibet, because like you can adapt. You know, you're not stuck with no options. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things about ML Lilibet though is like we'll have to see how people build her and what her multipliers are, but I feel like for me, she might be one of those units you might be able to fit in like. It kind of reminds me of like a Ravi, but with like a better, more team-oriented skill kit. And depending on how much damage she does, she might be like just actually like a decent like within the tank / bruiser meta style draft where you can run her and actually she might be a little bit more flexible than some people might feel like.
I think she's more flexible than something like Kitty Clarissa or like
for sure.
Lilius, you know.
Yeah, because she does more things, right? Than just...
she can do damage, you know, she like makes enemies' turns go on cooldown, right? She self buffs, she silences, you know. And she does damage. I think that's important too.
Yeah. And then I mean her well, as Kenny said, her base stats are like good. That's the other part that's the other part, along with the crit chance self imprint. So it'll be interesting to see. She comes out what, like next week?
March 4th,
2 weeks.
They said.
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah, March 3rd or 4th, something like that.
So in 2 weeks' time, when everyone polls for her, we'll see how that goes then. You know, I suppose. I'm gonna try to pull for her at least, because I feel like she'll just be a really good unit in general. To be honest, to have in like your box, like what is it called? Like what's a good unit that you don't see played often now? It's just like a good unit. I don't even know. I can't think of something off the top of my head.
I'd say A Ravi.
A Ravi, yeah, just A Ravi, yeah.
I still have her built up. I probably use her 1 in maybe 10 games. She wins me those 1 in 10 games, so take those.
Yeah.
Very tanky bruiser that does damage, right? And isn't hurt by Ravi. Like you could take her into Ravi, and I think would be very if you had like an enabler with her, I think she'd still be very good.
Actually, that's kind of true. Because with the cleanse, she does bring a bit of stuff to that.
Yeah, I would like a Ravi, to be honest with you. But I think every ML5 has some sort of impact, but either isn't good for this meta or just isn't played very often. Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right. You said you want to talk about the meta shift, right?
Yeah, we can.
Let's talk about that real quick. You guys, you want to get started on that? I also need to go to the washroom, so.
Yeah.
Oh, be right back. Yeah, thank you, co-host.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys want to talk about? All right. So now that Gabe's gone, Lilibet's armpit though. All right, but actually though, let's talk a little bit here about the way that the RTA ladder kind of moves, right? So I think I was watching Pantry earlier today, and he was going over one of his YouTube videos about Arcdemon Mercedes and his thoughts on Arcdemon Mercedes, right? When I was on the podcast back on whatever number 15, I think we were talking about how Arcdemon is not good in the current meta, right? Because the meta at that time was extremely fast, and people didn't really have answers built up to what the most oppressive unit at the time was when that was tea time, right?
Mhm.
And we really saw, why Arc Demon does not work in this spots, right? And everyone agreed for that first week that Arc Demon did not make any sense to have, and she's pretty much on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So I think as we go down the road, and as more of these Soul Weavers get drafted, to counter specifically to counter the tea time, we see a slower shift in the meta where people start running, slower comps with Degen RB, right, to live against tea time and things like that. And that's where we see Arc Demon start to rise up, because a slow Degen RB is not going to be able to kill someone like an Arc Demon Mercedes who has, crit damage reduction plus tanks, right?
Yeah.
So like we see like the meta shift in a way that benefits certain units, right?
Mhm.
And this is the same thing with other things, right? We see the meta get kind of slow again, but you guys, have to remember that people are playing it because of how it was adapted, specifically to tea time, right? And when you think about how a meta should work, okay, this is obviously more of like a game philosophy kind of ordeal, right? The things that change the meta to begin with are still impactful, right? The things like Cerise that changed, like the Cerise buff that really stopped people from playing bruisers and slow Ruel teams will come up again in response to this kind of tank, shift into slower, metas, right? Like the slower tank units, right? Sorry if I said the same word like a few times there. But like, for example, we saw Ruel Crow start to lose because Cerise plus friends was so oppressive, right? And then
Yeah.
Cerise became a little bit weaker because tea time was in the game, right? Because it doesn't matter if Cerise took the first turn, because tea time would just, provoke your entire team, right? And then we see counters to tea time come through, right? Because tea time was just very oppressive against that meta. And then tanks started coming up again because the meta slowed down again, right? So these things incrementally build up, but it doesn't mean that things in the earlier meta is necessarily bad again, right? It means they're still really viable. Which is why I think like the RTA is like going towards a great dynamic, because the people like ladder I don't think is a good snapshot of what's strong in the current game based off of like skills and things like that. It's more so of like what is going on that people, it's like what's good in reaction to what people are playing, right? So, even though the meta is shifting, right? The meta technically hasn't shifted at all because nothing has really been nerfed, right? So things that are still really strong will continue to be really strong, right? And then that just means that there are more people that can play different things and much more diverse like drafts as you get to like a higher level and like end meta game, right? So just my thoughts on that. I think it is definitely slowing down, but it doesn't mean that it's probably going to stay that way, right? Because Cerise is still very strong into crowd Ruel and things like that. So just
I think right now the
thoughts.
strongest players are people who can adapt to any single type of comp. To be honest with you, like who
Mhm.
has the most answers to what. I think that's what the strongest players are right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at I think the more consistent like top 3 players, right? I think that's always going to be Aether Bulge.
Mhm.
Skylar is up there as well, right? Suck. And
Mhm.
then the third slot is I think just generally whoever has like a ton of gear spread across, right? If you
Mhm.
look at the way that Aether Bulge and Skylar draft, or even the way that I draft, because I kind of mirror off of Skylar, like Skylar's draft, I draft as many things as possible because they can fit in as many situations as possible, right? And that
Mhm.
helps you become a lot more consistent when you're like really playing the game. Obviously, RTA only has 3 buttons, so the game's not very complex. But I mean, there's still like smaller technicalities to everything that help you like, do better, right? In a
Yeah.
game with 3 buttons. So it
Mhm.
is what it
Yeah.
is.
No, that's fair.
You-
That's fair.
You can see the meta in like the top 3, right? I know 8 the Bulge, he plays really slow. He thinks Crowd Row is the best combo in the game. I think he said that in the Fleet podcast. And then Skylar or Suck obviously plays super fast as like he still really likes, I think he still picks Cerise a lot. Still picks his S10. So like you could definitely see like the meta isn't like it's it's still pretty diverse. It's not just like, so it is slowing down, but like it's still really diverse.
Yeah. It's not just Ruel and friends, it's not just Cerise and friends. It's both. You can play whatever you want, but you have to have answers to things, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
like
like
it.
when the average player I think starts to really pick up RTA, and like obviously we joke about how there's only 3 buttons and you have 30 seconds to click a button. So the skill ceiling is pretty fucking low, let's be honest here. But if you
Yeah.
actually look at like the way that people draft, there's a lot of insight that goes on to why you draft certain units in the first slot or the second slot or in reaction to different people, right? And it's very easy, right? I think we've all done this, where you lose yourself in a draft, right? When I first started playing RTA, I remember the only thing that I would do was I would pick counter picks, right? To whatever the other person was drafting. And most of the time this would come to like them taking like RB and then like, some debuffed like units or whatever, like Bazaar, and I'll take like Hufine, Lilius, and then like ML Haste, and I'll just draft no damage, right? I'll put in a Rowana as well, and I'm stuck there with like 3 Soul Weavers in a Knight. I just lose the game, right? And I think a lot of us do this when we first start learning the game, right? And the whole idea behind like what the skill is really in Epic 7, it's your drafting, right? And I think as the meta adapts to certain people, I think everyone can kind of like take their own account into consideration and see what works for them, and not just copy what other people are doing, right? And that helps the meta kind of grow out and branch out, and that leads to better balanced patches from the devs and things like that, right? And they all like kind of like compile together for a healthy game, right?
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of different play styles too. Like if we look at just the different servers itself, right? Global, Korea, Asia, EU, right? Like they all have their own sort of. I feel like they all have their own sort of draft styles, and that comes from like whoever's at the top, right? Like people will be talking together, right? So the top players of each server, right? They'll be like talking with other people or some of them, and then a lot of people within those servers will draft that style. Then it constantly evolves based on what people are trying to like. Oh, I'm going to draft this style now. Use these units to counter these guys, and then
like General Purgus. Look at that. That's a prime example. Nobody used General Purgus except like Panshui before this season, and then General Purgus is now everybody's like, damn, General Purgus is actually a pretty good unit. I mean, he didn't get buffed, he didn't get changed. It's just in response to the meta. So units rise up in response to the meta, and it just gets good.
Yeah, that part is very true. I feel like
he did get buffed though.
He did get buffed.
He did get buffed.
Okay, what
his damage scaling got buffed.
But that was a long time ago, wasn't it? That was like
it wasn't that long ago. It was just that his was maybe like maybe a couple months ago at most, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty long. So yeah, that's an entire season ago, right? I mean, like if you think about it, right? I mean, but what I'm saying is that he wasn't seen much in like season 2, start of season 3 right here, and then suddenly he just comes out of nowhere. There weren't any big changes within the last few weeks, right? And then now suddenly he's huge. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, we can talk about this a little bit more once we finish the last 2 topics here. This next one should be pretty quick. Don't think it will take too long, but new exclusives, like disregarding Clarissa because I don't think she has any like merit here. Sorry.
What? Clarissa's the best team in the game. Why are you guys laughing?
No, nobody's laughing. Nobody's laughing. We're just.
What does she even do? I don't know.
Aside from Clarissa's exclusive being, good for people who use her in Wyvern already. Aside from that, all right, and like whatnot, like she doesn't have any PvP usage, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless someone decides to, whip her out in PvP, then sorry, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah,
my apologies.
I don't think she's a very good unit, but I think the exclusive equipment makes her pretty good for Wyvern. The decreased defense chance, doesn't that make her S1 100% now for defense? That's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought it was 85 with Max Mola, and then now it's 100, right?
Was it? No, it's not.
No, I think it's 100% now. Yeah.
No, it's not.
65%.
Wait, so it's 65 before Mola or after Mola? And then 65 with EE. Okay, she still sucks. Wait. This is trash.
Wait,
Never mind, dude.
Really? I thought it was.
I thought it was 100 too. I mean, why would they? I don't know.
After
I know why. Okay, wait, this kind of makes sense now. No, because they're releasing Lucy, right? So they have to make sure that. Why are you guys laughing? No, because they're releasing Lucy, and then we don't want Clarissa to be too overtuned because they're too synergistic with each other.
True. Yes, true. That makes a lot of sense.
100% chance to restrict speed or decrease speed and restrict, and then now we have a 65% decreased defense. You pretty
Dude,
much
that's
have that
OP.
on. Like that's literally 100% of the time. They're not
Dude,
gonna
100% of the time, 65% of the time.
Oh God.
Okay, let's move.
Good.
Pavel.
Yeah.
The Pavel E is actually very huge. I'm actually gonna build him. I
Same.
was watching Light or Cat use him, and I really thought he was pretty good. But his gear requirement is quite hard.
Yeah.
He has 15 base crit chance with no awakening, so it made it very hard to build him. But with the 12% crit chance, that actually helps him a lot. So I'm actually gonna build him. I think he's quite good. And yeah,
Which EE are you going to use on him, Andrew?
dude, I didn't even look at the E's yet. I just looked at the 12% crit chance. Honestly, the E.
Okay.
There's one that gives increased attack to the highest attack.
Oh, so the
Yeah.
highest ally too.
So
you give
yeah,
your-
yeah. So if you do draft him as like a CDOM user or another mage with Pavel, which usually you do, right? Because you need the soul burn.
yeah.
I feel like that gives him pretty good options for like cleave.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And he
That's
has really high base speed, right? So you can easily make him like 300.
It's not.
yeah, well, like 126, 126.
That's
It's the-
really high. Wow.
Yeah. Like the only downside about using him previously was that you needed like you need specific gear requirements to use him. I felt like
You need
So,
a god gear.
Yeah, you need really good gear. Oh, it's 124. Still pretty high, his
Oh.
base speed.
I mean, that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
still really, really high.
And that's higher than Cerise.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Mhm.
like Acid is only 128, right? I mean, that's pretty big.
It's
not
pretty
gonna
close
lie.
to the. It's one of the
Yeah.
faster units that you can build up.
Yeah.
I think one of the things about that was there's only so many people using him, and everyone's just capped by the gear. So the crit chance is really nice for helping people with not a lot of like good fast pieces with crit. And but at the same time, we'll talk about this because part of this will also change later on, right after this. So aside from that, I mean, I don't think there's any like there might be merit with skill nullifier, but I think the attack buff is probably the best one.
Yeah, I think the
far.
attack buff looks pretty good too. But I mean, I would never build him because my speed rolls are non-existent. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
never would touch that.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Unfortunately.
like in how many scenarios would you like run that combo with like a with CDOM, right, against a Politis? Because if you put him on like a Oath Key or something like that, he only misses 20% of the time against a
The
unit
Guild
like that.
Ward.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like,
symbol of
yeah,
unity, right?
Yeah, like actually, right? Like you hit more than often than not, and you might be able to kill Politis most of the time, right?
Yeah.
With Pavel S2, S3, and then
Mhm.
you have a CDOM as well. I'm pretty sure they can probably kill most Politises, which is
I think so too, yeah.
something to consider. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, for cleavers wise, this is gonna be interesting. I'm excited about that part. I'm gonna start building mine up.
Yeah.
All right. Gonna be the last topic that I have set up here. This is one that's gonna be might be a little bit longer. We'll see, and then we'll also we'll talk about a few things about this. So substats adjustments. Hopefully, I don't know how far you guys looked at it, but
I did see that.
This is interesting. So have any of you guys played Summoner's War here? Just curious.
Nope.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
we'll,
played that game for 6 fucking years. No LD Nat 5. Trash game. Right,
Dude.
Not even joking. Dude.
You are what the hell, bro? Get on my level. Dude, play 2 years, free TOA summon scroll, light monkey king, man. You suck.
Bro,
I'm just kidding.
At least you
Anyways.
had an LD Nat 5, dude. Oh my god, dude.
So Will's the one who will kind of know, and he can relate to what these are. But essentially, right? Like,
The reapps, yeah.
well, no. These are the grinds and grinds and gemstones. No. See, reapps is what I'm scared about. And for people who don't know Summoner's War, grinds and gems are exactly the substat changes, which is you can there's a substat you felt like that's not good, then you swap into it. Right? You swap one of the substats in, and then after that you can now upgrade a substat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reapps is totally different. That's just re-rolling your whole freaking piece of equipment for random substats. I don't want that in here. Anyways, thoughts about this? Sorry.
I think that these are pretty cool. I don't think they're gonna be paywalled, are they? They're gonna be just from expeditions and stuff. I mean, I have a lot of gear that could be really, really good speed, you know, or I could like swap out an F-res roll into attack or crit chance and make a piece of gear like almost perfect, right? So I think this is very, very nice. I don't see anything wrong with it. Because again, I don't think it's paywalled, unlike Summoners were, where you spend $100 for like grinds or re-apps. You know, like
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think E7 would do that, but hopefully they don't.
So
Because
one
I
thing
think that was a bad part.
for a lot of people who, in chat right now, a lot of people are worried about this being a whale thing. I would say that's unfounded worries, because if we look at Reforged materials that first came out, there was no like pack, there was no Reforged pack that straight up came out, right? And even when they came out in a pack, it took a little while before it came out into the equipment pack. And even before that, they released a lot of methods to get them first.
Mhm.
So I don't think you guys should worry about that. The other thing is that a lot of people say this is only going to benefit endgame players. But if you think about it, if you're endgame, top of the top, you're probably already having those pieces of equipment where they're like perfect. They have all the right substats and everything, right? You might benefit a little bit, but realistically speaking, this is probably going to benefit new players and mid-game players a lot more, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
Like-
Like a lot of my gear, most of my gear is just low rolls. It's not the substat issue, it's just the low rolls.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, it will benefit all, but like it won't benefit the endgame players as much as some people think. I know people who are saying like this won't benefit new players. This won't benefit mid-game players at all. This is only for the top, like the strong get stronger. But I kind of disagree with that when I heard that, because it wasn't the case to me.
I agree with you.
Let me talk a little bit about this really quickly. Sorry to cut you guys off. I think there's unfounded worries here. And I think the main thing is like, all right, I think everyone here can agree that the only reason why we do hunt buff and stuff like that is to roll new gear, which inevitably is going to be used in, you know, a PvP setting, right? Can we all agree that? Like, the only reason why I waste any of my Skystones on Wyvern 13 during hunt buff is because I want speed gear, right? And we feel that impact of speed gear in RTA, right? And it feels pretty nice, right? But let's talk a little bit here about gear gaps, and specifically for climbing in an RTA ladder setting, right? The gear, even though it does make a difference, right? Even though it does feel very nice to have no wasted stats, is not going to, you know, end up carrying you straight to legend, right? I'm sure we've all had like really well built units, right? But despite how well those units are built, it doesn't help you, you know, solidify your legend ranking, right? I think there's this weird like association that great gear will 100% net you a legend banner, like a legend frame, right? When we fight in legend, right? A lot of the times when we find ourselves losing is, you know, due to either RNG from artifacts or things like that, or just a pure drafting problem, right? Very rarely will I say that, okay, here in this spot, I got completely outgeared and I just felt like I could not win at all, right? That doesn't happen, right? And there's so many well-geared accounts in high end legend, and every time I fight them or every time you might fight them, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? I think every now and then we do see like, okay, if my unit was geared better, maybe I would have won here. But I think to say more than 50% of the time that being the case is just not true at all, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that most of the time when you lose games, it's because of drafting. It's just straight up just drafting. I don't think it's gear diff at all. Like I mean, sometimes you lose to RNG too, and it happens, you know. But most of the time, I think it's drafting. I don't think it's much of a gear diff in general, at least in high end like RTA.
Yeah, I mean, like every now and then, so there's this Discord that a lot of the legend players have called the Ship, and every now and then I'll go through the builds that are like listed in there, and there's one person in particular that I always see that has literally just the best gear in the game that I've ever seen, and it's Sweet Stark, right? His gear is on another level. I look at his knights and I look at my knights, and I'm missing like 40% stats. I don't understand how it's possible, but I'm missing 40% stats, and I have like imprints on these units too, and I'm like, I don't understand. Right. And then like every now and then when I play against, you know, Sweet Stark, not to like bash at him, but like, you know, even though we play multiple games, you know, I can still win. It never feels like it's impossible for me to win and overcome that gear gap, right? Even though it is there. So I feel like, you know, even though sometimes gearing does make a difference, and obviously not having wasted rolls will make things feel a little bit better for the large majority of players. I think it's okay, right? Like it's not that big of a deal, especially when a lot of the more like a lot of the more competitive settings in RTA is after you pass that champion threshold and really try to push for like the very top 100, right?
Mm.
I think and then on top of that, I think it really is just more geared towards the people that are like stepping into RTA, right? They don't have as many well built pieces of gear, and this will make their solid core units have relatively higher stats because you can get rid of the wasted rolls and wasted stats that you might have like on a few pieces of gear, right? So I think for
Agreed.
like newer players like let's say Lakari, I'm a Cutie Pie or Darius come in, right? And
Mm.
they get a good 85 drop from Hunt Buff, right? All epics, it's just one wasted roll, right? Let's say it's like HP speed, I don't know, defense and crit chance or something like that, right? On like a chess piece, right?
Yeah.
And then instead of like the crit chance roll, you want like flat HP, right? Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Then you re-app it or you adjust the
Grind
stats.
it.
You get
Grind.
flat HP and you get 400 more HP or like 800
Yeah.
more effective HP, right?
Yeah.
That helps them get into the RTA threshold, which has a huge barrier of entry, I think, for a lot of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where the end game goal of like the equip substats are. It's so there haven't been too many catch up mechanics, even though there are. And I think this is a sort of catch up mechanic that can really help push these players to be more comfortable in RTA, right? Because their units are going to be well geared and they'll be less anxious to hop in, right?
Mm-hmm. I think one other thing is the one thing about this is we don't know where this conversion goes to. Sorry, where the stats, how it changes first right now. Like, obviously, because like they're probably finalizing it, they're trying to figure out what they're gonna be, right? So depending on what it is, like it could make a very big difference, like with the gear. What's this called? Gear averages now, right? When you look and roll for gear now, you're like I think the method of rolling gear now, or it's gonna change for some things that you look at now, right? It's like some things might not be a totally dead roll, right? When you're rolling it, like a lot of times for us now, we roll, we're rolling a piece that hits a stat that we know is absolutely useless for this. 3 or 4 times we're just like, all right, it's done, right? But now with this, it's like, oh, potentially dead piece could now be salvaged. You could actually make use of it more so than anything else, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did say it would be lower than rolling into the stat. We just don't know what the numbers are yet, right? Because like, just a quick example, right? One of the things I was thinking about, right? Let's say we hit a penta effect resist, right? If each effect resist roll now is, let's say, speed, right? Obviously, it's not going to be 4 speed, not going to be 5 speed, but if it's, let's say, 3, which is kind of the middle, right? The average, the middle, if it's 3, that's actually still huge.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like,
I agree.
it's still too much, right? So if it's 3, it might be too much. If it's 2, I think that's okay for that now, right?
Is
So it
3
really,
speed too-
I think 3 speed is too much already. Like, if you're getting a penta, like if it's a penta roll, right? Let's say it started at a 4, right? And you get penta roll into effect resist, and all the penta roll, each roll is equivalent to 3. That's a lot of stats, don't you think?
That's 18 speed. Are you talking about after Reforge or before Reforge?
No. These are well, if we go pre-reforge, right?
Okay, if it's pre-Reforge 3 speed, then yeah, that becomes.
Yeah,
That's
so,
like OP.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be. I hope it's not like that. Cause
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, right? We don't know the numbers right now. We don't know enough details for that. So I am waiting a little bit for that, but I guess I have more faith than anything, because Reforged materials I was worried about, and those were unfounded pretty much, right? Like, like Reforges are actually like they did them pretty well. So
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I think Smilegate's just a great company. I mean, this might be just me like kissing their ass, but I mean, they listen, they listen and they change. Even if it comes out and it's broken, they'll change it. They will do that because they've done it before. I think Smilegate is trustable in these kinds of situations.
Mhm.
These big game changing updates. So I'm not too worried about it. I think it's a pretty cool system, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think just to pivot off what Timbert said. So the flat HP was 455.6 post reforge, right? So
Mhm.
that is 2 rolls. netting to potentially 1 roll, right? So I think it is like not too bad.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
is balanced. So it's like not like overbearing. And I also feel like even if it was 3 speed and the average speed does go up for all your units, it's not going to make that much of a difference because the average speed for every unit is going to go up, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't nothing really changes, right? Like every unit's going to get 10 more speed, then 10 more speed doesn't really matter, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It's just
Yeah.
everyone's gear quality is going to shift at the same time, essentially, right? Like,
Yeah.
like where we are right now for like all of us that are playing in like if you're in like champion level of RTA or something, right? And you're playing consistently there, literally, I think like everything's just going to shift up, right? Everyone's moving at the same pace upwards, pretty much, and I don't think there's going to be that big of a change there.
What about speed RNG though?
Yeah.
What about speed RNG?
So, okay, we can talk about this actually. So let's look at every unit, right? And say that every unit that you have right now builds up 10 speed, and everyone's unit that they currently have right now goes up by 10 speed. Okay.
Mhm.
For the units where speed RNG matters at the 290 threshold or 280 threshold, there's already speed RNG. It doesn't matter, right? And then every other unit below that is going to go up a certain amount, right? So the 1% threshold is going to be a little bit higher, but it's still not going to make a difference, right? What currently 199 speed A Ravi is not going to realistically speed RNG someone's 220 or 210, Blue Crow or A Ross or whatever that name might be, right? So in that sense, it doesn't really matter, right? And if you play high speed comps or cleave comps already, you already know that the speed RNG is very variable at the very high threshold. So the speed RNG is not going to really realistically be affected at all, right? At
Mhm.
that level. And that's
Yeah.
where it really matters, right? And
Yeah, that's true.
and just something else to consider here that if you are contesting speed at that level, 2 speed average is not going to do anything. It's just
Yeah.
slow to use in the first place, right?
I
It's not
agree.
going to make or break the game.
You won't even be using that gear on those kind of units to begin with, right?
Yeah.
I want to say something about like people are saying how it helps like older new players more. I actually think it does. Like I agree with people here. I think it helps newer players more because when you're late game, most of your units are already min maxed, right? For the most part, they're already min maxed, and people are saying like it helps whales more because like they get to have more. They get to farm more of it. Did they say anything about like it's limited a month or something like that, or is it just you get to farm as much of it as possible? Or no details yet.
I don't
no
think
details.
we fully know that part yet. I think that's the thing. I think they're still adjusting it, like to like obviously I think the one good thing is like the preview helps a lot with the fact that people they can gauge our reactions, right? Because a lot of us are gonna be talking about this. They can gauge reactions and they can try to tweak it accordingly. But yeah, one quick thing actually is looks like data mine was out. I'm not gonna talk about Lucy's multipliers.
No.
But Lilibet, it looks like her multipliers wise, skill 1 is 0.6 attack rate with 1 POW. And skill 3 is 0.6 with 1 POW. So it's not very high.
Wait, isn't she defense skiller?
It is. So I don't know how that's gonna work. To be honest.
But
Damage dealt increases 1.15 for her skill 3 though. So I'm assuming that's for the
soul burn.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, so skill 1. Oh, sorry, skill 1 is 1,
wait,
and then
skill
skill
1
3 is
is-
1.15. So,
Wait, no, because skill 1 is the soul burn. What is the 1.15 increase then? What is the
no,
damage
that's the
dealt?
scaling. That's the scaling with.
Oh,
that's
the defense
scaling,
scaling. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Oh.
damage scaling, not defense scaling. It's just
Well, I mean,
flat damage, yeah.
oh, okay, I got it.
Let me check something out.
Yo, but paper whirlwind.
I swear to God, if you talk about.
I don't know, man. 0.9 attack rate, 0.95 POW, dude. Looks pretty OP to me.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
curious.
it's like, she really, I think this just really pushes Emma a little bit into like that, like counter debuff kind of unit, right?
Mhm.
I don't think she'd ever. If you think about the bruisers that we draft right now, very high damage, provide some sort of utility, and like A Ravi, for instance, right? I think A Ravi is like my favorite bruiser to ever use. at least in the current metagame. She does damage on her S3. She has a revive as like a pseudo Ruel, and then she has standard like just overall bulk, right, as her like stay alive mechanic, right?
Mhm.
And I think when you compare units like a Ravi to Emma Lilibet, like would I ever draft Emma Lilibet over an a Ravi? Probably not, right? But if I ever do draft into a debuff comp, right, like I would always draft the Emma Lilibet there.
Mhm. That's true. That's
And
true.
I think that's fine. That she's more of a niche pick. That
Yeah.
pick whenever you want.
Mhm.
I just want to say, Sui Stark is saying it's pull uninstall.
Must pull and uninstall.
Okay, well he's just weird.
You pull and then you uninstall.
He DM'd me before and said the new ML5 is OPS. Like that's what he said before, but now I guess he says pull and uninstall. I don't know.
I see.
I think she's great. I am definitely gonna. She is a must pull. I'm gonna have everything ready for her. But
Yeah,
at
I
least
think
for me,
she's,
because I don't have Champ Z, because this game hates me, and I have
Hey.
never once pulled a Champ Z. So
We're in the same boat. Don't worry about that.
dude. Rest in pepperonis. I even pulled 70 times on the FCC banner, even though I have like an SSS one, because I wanted Champ Z and I didn't get him, and I was like, I'm not risking it anymore.
Wow.
I'm done.
I didn't even go for that. And okay, I see.
I'm not risking it. It's not worth it, dude. Not at that point.
Hey Will, seems like you're a big Will. You could fund me some Mystic.
No.
What the
no.
heck?
I don't know who told you that one. No.
Well, if we have to be fair and even here, yeah. So if Will's funding Andrew, yo Kenny, you got me right. Yeah, we have to.
Free to play Mystics.
I got a phone call.
What the? Wait a minute. All right. I mean, regarding the substats wise, aside from that, right? Like, I think I'm kind of like I think it's still a nice change overall. I'm not gonna complain about.
Yeah, 100%. It's beneficial for everyone. I think the people that are like, and I have like, if you guys have ever seen my like unit stats, I think I have pretty good stats for the average legend player. And at this
okay,
level,
wait
when
a
I
minute.
have, like, pretty good stats. I'm still okay with it, right? Like, I think it's more beneficial than like anything. And if I do like need to change my units around, like this just lets me change my units around, right?
Yeah.
Like you might have those like one or two pieces laying around where you're like, oh, if I just replace this is actually a decent piece that can be used, kind of thing, right? So,
I mean, I have a bunch of gear that like high rolled, like DPS stats, but has FRES as a 4 stat, and I would just love to swap that out for another DPS stat, like I would very, very much like that. That would help me out a lot. Like I could get a lot of units to 100% crit, like instead of 99 or something, I think it would be great.
I think one of the things though is
we should talk here about wasted stats, right?
Oh,
Specifically FRES. Now, all right, I don't know if you guys have ever watched my stream before, but I run a 0% effectiveness a Tywin, right? It's pure damage. I think a lot of people are doing it now because it gets kind of soft countered by a lot of like the cleave counters, right? Now, there's a unit that is the bane of my existence, right? It's Tenebria. Every time my a Tywin S3s, right? I never land anything on Spectre Tenebria. So maybe it's because they're running FRES substats because they don't have perfect gear. Do you really want to roll away that FRES?
Wait, Kenny, how long have you not been playing the game? Last I heard, right, everyone was telling me you start running about 60% effect resist now on Spectre just to be safe.
Oh, maybe that's the plan. Maybe I should switch to FRES ring.
Yeah, you didn't know that, dude? That's the new meta now. Like
Yeah, dude,
I'm behind.
Dude,
I mean, I don't know about you,
up.
but if you've ever seen me play, my Spectenny takes every single debuff to the face and always misses and always gets fucking crit by RB or fucking S1 by RB, some BS like that.
Yeah,
so you don't have to worry, dude.
You have FRES ring?
No, I don't, because I'm not.
There we go.
There you go.
Dude, you're behind the meta, bro.
Yeah, I need to have triple resist set, 300 FRES, fucking S10 here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
But like the substat change, I don't like. To be honest, when I get gear and it's not perfect, most of the time I just throw it out. like I don't actually have that much gear that I could change a substance. I don't roll anything that's not perfect.
No, but that's what I meant by like also like how like it's going to change how people power up and roll gear now, and like what gear they keep, right? Like now it might not be like a gear that you think you normally back then would be like, oh, useless, right? Now you might be like, oh, I might be able to make use of this.
Yeah, this is actually
Yeah.
not that bad.
Like-
I wonder if the Fribbles optimizer will actually the guy who makes it will actually code that in. That seems like something that would be very, very cool for a computer to check out, you know?
I mean,
That's
they need.
yeah, I would say
That's
that's
kinda
a little
hard.
out there.
I
I would
mean,
say
yeah.
if anything, that's on your end, right? Because the
Yeah.
Dribbles thing is cool, right? It's a tool for you to use to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where if you look at the gear score of an average piece, right, and then you factor into the fact that you remove gear score for your wasted substats, then you can refactor the stats back in, right? And then
Yeah.
and then work from there, right? I feel like having the tool do that just doesn't. It's like, near impossible, right?
Yeah, it's near impossible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really hard.
But it would be cool.
It would be cool, but I think it might be more on you than anything else. To be honest, yeah. I think.
Sorry. Let me just. Someone said in chat that he can code it to change random substats. You can't do that because you're gonna have to do that for every stat on the item, right? So your permutations go up by 4 factorial each time you change it, right? It just doesn't work.
I don't think it's worth it either, right? Like, I don't think it's worth it because like I don't think it's too difficult for people like
yeah, to look at gear.
Look at your own gear in one piece and like, oh, this is better. You're not gonna look at a crit damage necklace with crit chance substats, attack percent substats, health and effect resist. Be like, oh, I'm gonna take away this crit chance. I need defense percent, or I need more health or flat health or something, right? Okay, no one's good.
I have a lot of crit damage necklaces like that, actually.
Sorry, actually, I really shouldn't say this. It's actually no, sorry. No, it is possible, okay, but there's only so far that we can go with telling people what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's up to the people.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I have a bunch of crit damage necklaces where it's like F-res is the last stat, and then it rolls like 3 times into F-res, and I'm like, okay, guess I'll die.
Yeah. I just want to say, for anyone who doesn't have speed, it's because they're not rolling one speed here. If a piece has 20 speed potential, you have to roll it, even if it starts at 1.
Oh my god!
One speed. If you roll 4, 4, 3, that's 20. That's 20 speed right there.
Wait.
So every piece that has 20 speed potential, you roll it.
Wait, what?
Okay, but
think about it. If it starts at 1 speed, if you roll 4, 4, 4, 3, right? That's
4, 4, 4. Okay.
That would be 16, and you can reforce it to 20. So if it has speed in it, you should roll it.
Okay, but that's a quad roll speed, Luna.
No, that's like a. I mean, I kind of get because like Kat tells this to us all the time during Hunt Buff. So the problem with this kind of like speed chase is that it's going to cost you more gold than you can earn on a Hunt Buff, right?
I don't really like that.
What you're supposed to do if you're chasing speed is ignore the 1 speeder, just forget about that. I think more optimally, you roll any heroic piece with 2 speed to +3. If it rolls speed again, you go to +6, right? And then you roll every epic with speed on it, right, to +6. And if it rolls speed once, you go to +9. And in that case, you have a higher chance of hitting that 20 speed threshold on all your items. It's a lot more likely that you'll hit a 20 speeder, like at least maybe. I want to actually genuinely say like maybe once per like Hunt Buff if you farm for both days. So it's something to consider.
Okay,
the other night,
not everyone is you.
What?
You go first.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the other night when I was crafting for a viewer, I think I got like 3 pieces that were 20 speed.
Yeah, getting 20 speed is actually relatively easy if you think about if you roll this way. It's getting your max speed potential that gets infinitely harder, right? So if you go for like if you want to go for like the 24, 25, 27 speeders, like that is very, very
literally
hard.
Just crying right now.
Okay, so Kenny,
go for it. Sorry, go for it.
Kenny is absolutely scamming you guys. You do not get 120 speed every Hunt Buff. He may get one, but it doesn't go for everyone. I have been farming for 3 months without a single piece 20 plus.
Hey,
I
Andrew,
farm.
next time you need crafting, yo, hit me up. I got you.
I might need Kenny to hit me up.
Dude,
Every hunt
yeah.
buff,
No.
he posts on the ship Discord a new 20 speed piece. Every single day.
Kenny's different. Yeah, for his hunt buff, he's probably farming like double your amount, and he's like his hunt buff is not just that one hunt buff day. His hunt buff is probably like the week prior to that also.
How many? Okay, wait. Do you know how many like mats you get per hunt buff? Kind of
It
curious.
depends on if
I
you're
get-
running like
20k a day.
I get about like 20k as well,
Okay, yeah,
or
that's
15k actually. If I
I,
think
Yeah,
I think the average is 15
I get
on a one.
I get around 22 to 25k as well. So it's pretty much the same.
I
I
don't
think
remember.
this is more of a player diff. Honestly, we now get fucking.
I farm for the full 24 hours. The full,
Dude,
I wake up at 5
it is what
a.m.
it is. It is what it is. It's
and I
just a
sleep
player
at
diff.
5 a.m. What?
Dude, I have
It's
been
just a player
farming for over a year, and I have nothing over 20. Like, so I mean, I'm just saying. The other day, I rolled a red ring quad roll speed for 13, and I have a bunch of pieces like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't roll speed. It's just not.
Kenny
possible.
is saying I'm scamming, but he's the real scammer. You do not get 20 speed.
20 speed is easy, dude. I don't have. Oh my god, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I
Oh.
mean, I get quad for 13 or 12. I can't. I don't know.
I mean,
Another
those will
thing is,
happen, right? But like, the more you roll speed gear, the more opportunities you get to give
Yeah,
yourself 20 speeder, right?
yeah.
It really is statistically a lot more likely if you roll this way to get 20 speeders.
that's why I said
Might
roll
not-
one.
It might not happen.
I don't like the
every
one
month,
speed
but
one
you
because
yeah.
the one speed one.
Okay.
So the one thing I don't like about one speed, and I tell this to a lot of people too, is especially like my viewers who I help with their accounts off stream. Like if they're free to play or very low spenders, you rolling one speed is an int. You're wasting so much resources on those that you end up losing out on other gear that you could be rolling that are better, or like you run out of resources with that. So if you're a whale, go for it. You're rolling one speed, in my opinion. But if you're not whaling and you're free to play or low spender, I really don't think like it's a good idea for.
Yeah, 'cause,
So my
even chasing 2-speed heroics, you will lose gold.
Mhm.
So like when I roll, even now when I roll the so I've stopped rolling 2-speed offset pieces now. I only go for speed set.
Yeah.
And even then, I'll burn through like all my gold because it just costs so much gold. So I think for like newer players to roll one speed, you just don't have the resources and gold for it. You're gonna be
Yeah.
in a constant grind for just getting more gold.
Dude,
Yeah.
I only speed check.
Unless
4s
you
and
buy gold
3s.
packs. Light E7 does
Yeah,
buy gold
I was gonna
packs
say
and buys them
that.
out. So I mean, if you do need gold packs are available.
You know who
Apparently
else used to buy
packs-
gold packs? Washbowl before they were buffed.
Yeah.
Oh, before they were buffed.
After the buff, they're actually not that bad though.
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, my biggest idol, Cat, buys gold packs. And I started buying them too.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
happened.
All right. So moral of the story: if you're someone who is a massive whale like Light E7 or Andrew here, yeah, you roll for one speeds and you can get you'll have a higher chance for speed. Otherwise, yeah. Disclaimer. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Be careful.
I mean,
Okay, so but what's the difference between one and two? One speed difference. Come on.
So for me, for the people who are free to play or low spenders, I don't even tell them to roll 2-speed because even 2-speed is similar with that method. For 3 speeds, right? Even if you're rolling averages, it can still be a decent piece for them. But for 1 and 2 speeds, you have to hit a high roll somewhere in there, otherwise you're screwed. Like otherwise that piece is not gonna.
Yeah. So the problem with rolling one speed, right? you have to hit the 1 in 3 chance to hit speed. First of all, that's the first check. And then you have to hit at least 3 or 4 speed, right? Because after 3 or 4 speed, it's just a 4-speed starting roll, right? So you're already missing a roll. And then you have to roll it again and then pray for the next set of 1 and 3 and then the high roll again, right? So it's just really unlikely that you're going to get it. And it's just, I really don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, Cat or Light E7 told me that he got a 20 speed from one speed, so I've been rolling it ever since.
All right, now I've never rolled 1-speed items and I have more speed gear than you, so I don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Damn.
Uncalled for. That was just uncalled for.
Wait, I have a question. Wait, what's our highest speed piece, Andrew?
Mine is 22.
Oh, we have the same.
Jesus.
What's your
How do you
fastest
get-
A-lots? My fastest A-lots is 295. 295.
I'm definitely not as fast as you.
Wait, 295 with 22 speed?
Wait, what's your other
Oh
pieces?
no,
How-
294. 294 with 22 each.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have, yeah. No, the fastest my A loss I think is like now like 289 or something like that.
What's yours, Kenny? What's yours, Kenny? It's gonna be 300, isn't it?
No, I'm not at 300.
Dude, just
No,
beat
no.
Jinta and have like 5 300 speed.
No,
All right,
no,
all right, all right.
wait. I
All
have a
right,
question.
this
Wait.
is a testament to where my account is. My fastest A loss is 297.
Woo!
297.
Dude,
Holy shit.
Kenny is luck carried. I'm not even kidding. Every
Wait.
hunt buff,
Imagine.
he posts 3 pieces in the ship, and
I do, yeah, I get bangers every time.
yeah, he gets bangers every time. Like,
Dude, how do you do it, man? I need.
All right, to be honest though,
hell?
like I'm extremely lucky. I think I was also lucky where I stopped playing the game for a brief period of time before Wyvern 13 came out, and I started back again when Wyvern 13 came out. So all the resources that I've spent towards energy was not during Wyvern 11 hunts, but it was during Wyvern 13. So like all my gear has always been from Wyvern 13, which is just pretty lucky on my part. So I think the moral of the story here is just, you stop playing for you come back, you have god gear.
You know what? It's because the game wants you, right? They're like, oh, dude, this guy, we need this guy.
Whale, bro. This guy's
Yeah.
a big spender. We need him, bro. Dude, I don't know, man. I spend a decent amount too, right? But I mean, it just doesn't work. Like, I think I'm lucky with units sometimes, like pulls maybe. I've pulled 2 ML fires from Covenants, but other than that, I mean, my speed rolls are just not. I need somebody to help me. Somebody needs to.
Okay, no, it's okay. In the end, we don't need the speed. Like I was watching this. I looked at this Reddit post right before stream. Yeah, it was literally this guy has a cerise. His necklace is crit chance. Wait, let me link it to you guys.
I bet it's 29. It's 29.
No. It's a crit chance necklace with 24 speed.
Jesus.
And
Christ.
it also hit defense once at 16%. So Reforge is 24 speed, 16% defense. Its end speed for Cerise is 256.
yeah, I don't want to flame this guy.
How?
Wait, what do you mean how? He's on level 70 boots.
Yeah, he has level 70 conversion boots.
Okay, that's just a brain gap. That's just a,
No, I'm pretty sure this guy just doesn't have the gear to allocate. If you don't, if you actually think about this, right? Like, if you don't play RTA at all, there's no real reason to have like a super fast Cerise, right? If let's say the only thing you do is you play GVG, right? You don't really need a super fast Cerise, right? Because you don't even draft Cerise in GVG that much.
no,
right?
but I'm saying brain gap because he has 70 conversion boost.
No, okay, let's be fair. I think everyone has done this once in the past.
I have never done that.
Wait, I've never done. Wait, what? You?
Sorry,
I've
sorry,
never.
I mean, yeah, no, wait, we've never done this. No.
Okay, wait. My parents have raised me to always use. All right. Well,
Okay, wait.
Don't judge me here. I take napkins from McDonald's. From McDonald's, and if I go to Chipotle, I'm sorry, Chipotle, I take 4 forks. All right, what do you want?
What, dude?
When I go to Chipotle,
How are you this wasteful? I don't understand.
Wait, don't you live by yourself?
Yeah, that's why I need 4 forks.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't do my dishes.
What's wrong? It's free. It's free. Take it. Don't be wasteful. Just
True.
take it.
I used to ask for extra ketchup and stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have napkins in my car. I literally have like stacks of napkins in my car from all sorts of different like fast food restaurants.
I used to have a lot in my car before I sold my car for Epic 7.
Wait, what?
What? I mean, yeah.
Wait a
So
minute,
yeah. I used to do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah.
So you're telling me you take extra napkins, but you're gonna waste resources in Epic 7? How's that even?
Okay, to be fair,
Exactly.
it happened once. It happened once. Okay, I was in the shower playing Epic 7. I have one hand on it. Okay, it slipped. I pressed convert. Okay, it was heroic. It wasn't level 70 though. This was back then.
Okay, it's not that
okay.
bad.
If it's heroic,
It was an 85 heroic boot. Okay, I cried a little on the inside. All right, guys.
You still have it?
Do you still? Yeah, do you still?
No, honestly, actually, yeah, no. I've never told anyone this. You four are the first.
I
Damn.
see.
Damn, and the other 650 people in the stream, of course,
Shit, I need to end stream.
But
No,
I mean,
that's
I think that I try not to waste anything in Epic 7. Like I try not to because even though you can spend money, you don't want to be wasteful. It's just the Asian mentality, I guess. Like we're taught by our parents, just save everything. It's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, that's true. Like, Man, why compared to it, like I am so much more diligent in Epic 7 than like Genshin or something. Like Genshin, like I've stopped giving dude, I've stopped caring about the daily sometimes. I'm just like I don't give like I'm just gonna like I look at it, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna log off this game.
I stopped playing Genshin because it just felt like a chore for the dailies. That's pretty much it. Like I don't think it's a bad game or like unfun. I just didn't like that it was a chore. It felt like a chore to me. So.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm still playing it just because I'm hoping there's something they'll come up with something that's really cool. But
I think the story is great and the visuals are great. The music is amazing, but it just felt like a chore.
Best way to hit legend is Cleave. Cleave is OP, guys. Shut up.
Yes, please. More people play Cleave, please. I need free points.
hey!
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No flame.
What the heck?
No.
I just want to say pre-Politis, I was like 5-1 versus Will, and post-Politis,
yeah. Pre-Politis, dude. God, dude, this guy.
You
know what, yo, Andrew. Okay, we need to figure out a way that like. We'll talk to each other how specifically to beat Will, and then we're just gonna every time steal points from him.
No, stop. No, please don't do it. I'm already poor. I'm already so short on points.
Will's too far ahead for me. Even.
But
no,
God Gamer Kenny,
I mental boomed yesterday.
I've never beat him once in my life. Kenny's just too good at the game.
But that is 100% not true.
I agree.
Every now and then, I'll play good up until I go on a bender. I don't know if you guys have ever played League of Legends. Played League at all. Let me get my unplugged in mic here and let me adjust this because this is a very serious topic. So League is extremely fucking tilting, and you cannot end. You have to play until you're on a win streak. You can't end when you're on a win streak, and you can't stop on a loss. So you play forever. And RTA is in the same very same boat where it gets to a point where after you play for a long period of time, you just stop thinking, your brain turns off. You can't help it, right?
And you just mental
playing. But you keep playing because you can't end on a loss, and you're not on a win streak. And when you're on a win streak, you have to keep playing.
Yeah, so you got to get higher.
It's just a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it really is. It's just a mental boom, dude. Mental boom.
True.
Actual mental boom. I mean, I don't know. Yesterday, I was like 3290 or 3300. Now I'm like 3170. Massive boom.
I just want to say, right before the stream, I actually played for 2 hours to lose 40 points.
Hey,
that's me too. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Right before the stream, I queued an RTA, and I let it auto pick Sermia against Jintei. So once again,
mental boom. It's okay. It happens. I guess it happens.
Yeah, don't worry. I saw Kenny go from rank top 10 to a champion back to top 10.
I did do that in the day. So
wait a minute.
Funny story about this. I wasn't supposed to stream that day. Or I wasn't streaming for like a period of time, and I hit my 2-day mark for decay matches, right? So I had to play in the morning, and I had a huge project deadline at like 8 p.m. or something because the client was in like California or some shit. So here I was playing RTA for my 1 decay match. In that period of time, I DC'd 8 games, so I lost a total of like 140 points or something like that. And now I had a lot of work to do because I didn't really finish the project yet. And I was a senior on the file, so I had to like do a lot of the responsibility of actually wrapping up everything and making it all presentable, right? So what ended up happening was I ended up playing RTA for 9 hours straight, and I did my project like 10 minutes before it was actually due, and I just did a bunch of formatting stuff. So
Jesus,
that's Epic 7 for you. I think I went from I dropped way past champ too, because I dropped like 80 points in the champ, and then I had to climb back up after being tilted from DCing. Praying that it don't DC anymore, and then actually get to where I was, like back where I was when I was like, I think I was like top 20 or something at the time.
I feel you. I was streaming the day before an OChem test, and then I was just playing, and I was having a very, very bad day, dropping a lot of points. And then I should have been studying. And then I went to the OChem test and I did terrible. So yeah, That's why RTA is just a rabbit hole. It really is.
Something to consider here is that if you do win Shotgun Shogun's tournament, you might not have to go to school anymore. That $2,000 can go a long way.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I live in California where everything costs like $30 million for a fucking burrito.
Well, so, you know what that means? Time to move.
Yep, true. True. Maybe I should go to Texas.
Yeah. Maybe your priorities aren't straight here. Because whenever I like miss the sunlight or want to go on vacation or something like that. It just so happens that the Seaside Ufiend like side story comes out. I get all my exposure of light and camera and everything like that. So maybe instead of just worrying about like your real life priorities, maybe just worry more about your Epic 7 account.
True.
Kenny is so smart. He's a god gamer.
True.
You could
True. Maybe if my account gets good enough, I can sell it for money, and then I can use that money to invest into game stonks, and then get rich quick. To the moon, dude. To the moon.
Yeah. GME.
GME, dude. GME. Oh my
I don't know
god.
about you guys, but I got some fucking paper hands. So
You sold? What did you sell at? You got
Yeah,
in?
what?
You sold? Dude, I don't know,
No,
man.
this is a random tangent. What?
Oh,
What?
okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Obviously,
yeah.
obviously, I got diamond hands. What do you?
Yeah.
you guys-
Diamond
Yeah,
hands. Diamond
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Definitely still holding on. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and since we're talking about that paper hands, right? Yeah. Now that you've seen a little bit multipliers, obviously you'll pull for Lucy, right?
Lucy's top tier.
Yeah. Well, dude, we're all gonna pull for Lucy here, right? 100%. Yeah. That's why we'll all have that unit. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I mean, aside from that,
Buff Cleave.
True!
Yes.
yes.
I mean, hey, the Pavel EE might be some help. You know, it
No,
actually might be.
No, it won't.
It won't.
I-
You don't.
I
I mean, I'm
actually
not a
think
cleaver,
that,
so I
like-
don't know. I'm sorry.
I actually think that Pavel could be used in like most clue scenarios because he does damage, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's not like Cerise where you just S3 for the crit. Like,
Yeah.
Pavel has like five hits of crit, right? Which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see what how it goes there for that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, chat. I know Lucy is obtainable in story if you didn't get the the sarcasm. Okay. Anyways, all right. Aside from that, I think it was pretty good. I'll end it off here. We'll see what happens when the substats and everything comes out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, and then we'll see what happens then.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm not actually hard stuck champ. How many points are you at, Andrew?
I'm like top
I'm
30
not
right now.
Gabe.
Damn.
Damn.
That's pretty.
Damn, you really.
Did you just say I'm not?
Damn.
Dude,
That's
that is toxic. That is. You kicked him out.
Anyways. All right, so we're done here. All right. Yeah, aside from that, thank you guys for watching the stream today. I'll let these guys give their outros here. So yeah, for tonight's podcast, yeah, Kenny and BestKapkan, yeah, just give your outros there.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming around. Yeah, I think it was a great podcast. We talked about some great stuff. You know, I like all the stuff that's coming out. But yeah, it was pretty good podcast. We went over some good stuff.
Appreciate that. And then Kenny.
Yeah, if you guys haven't already, you guys can find me at my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/E11ectric with a K, by the way, because we're Zoomer like that. And yeah, I stream 3 times a week. Feel free to check me out, and I'll be there.
Yeah,
All right.
and I think we had another one, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. So
Yeah, I think you just got DC'd. You know.
Yeah. So
whatever.
yeah, someone else there. All right, appreciate that. All right, peace out, guys.
All right, bye.